Episode of the Alpha Live here. We are starting off the Minmatar side of the series. So, we are gonna start off with the beautiful ship you are seeing right now on your screen. As you can see, it's definitely alpha friendly, it's definitely for beginners, and it's definitely going to make you a ton of ISK. So, let's start up with the fitting, shall we? Now, we are going to start off very easily seeing that the cost of the ship is 2 million. I think it's a little bit more because we are on the rents and heck markets, because we are on Minmatter space. Of course, I bought everything in here, and I just used a lot of stuff that I had lying around from running belts, from running sites, and just Tech 1 loot. Except for the Skistium B-type explosive shield hardener, you can actually use a Tech 1, and I'm gonna leave a Tech 1 in the description below. So, how is this fit going to work? Well, first of all, we're gonna use three 200mm light prototype automatic cannons. Why? Because we want to make as much damage as possible for as cheap as possible. As you can see, these are the second best meta module for the guns, so they are a little less expensive. That's why our cost is so low. Next up, we're gonna have a core probe launcher 1 for running those high-sec combat exploration sites, maybe even scan out a thing or two in Lowsec, because we can also use this fit to run belt ratting. That's right, we can start doing those belt rats as fast as possible with this fit. It'll be an awesome start. Now, next we're gonna move on to the mid slots. We're not gonna be using a micro warp drive. Unlike with Incursus, we're actually going to use an Afterburner, and as you can see, we get some pretty good maximum velocity with this. 1222 meters per second is actually fairly respectable and enough to actually run the belts. Also, we want to have as much capacitor as we can, because well, you may not know this, but Minmatar ships apparently have a little less capacitor than other empires, which is okay since they are focused on speed, so we don't need a micro warp drive. The Afterburner will do just fine. Next up, a small clarity ward enduring shield booster. Why the shield booster? Well, we're gonna take damage, we want to repair the damage, and I like it better than having just a big buffer shield, because it's a small ship, we cannot fit a lot of shield modules, so just this one to repair us. Next up, I'm gonna be using a Skistium B-type explosive shield amplifier because it's what I had in hand, but you can absolutely use the compact or the explosive shield amplifier one without a problem. As you will see in the recordings, we didn't have any problems with the tanking of the damage, and we were pretty efficient at running both the low-sec belt rats and the high-sec combat exploration sites. Next of all, we're gonna use a X5 Enduring Stasis Webifier. Why? Because we want to slow those rats down, especially in the belt. Some of them will actually still be fast, and we want to slow them down so that we can just shoot them a little bit easier. These guns don't have as good tracking as blasters, so we want to get as better tracking as we can, and this will help us definitely a lot. Next up, we're gonna go to two counterbalanced compact gyrostabilizers, again because they are cheap and because they don't give us more CPU problems. We are a little tight on this fit, so please train those engineering skills so that you are able to fit it. But yeah, those counterbalanced compact gyrostabilizers. I forgot to show you that in this character I am also alpha. So yeah, also an alpha, definitely will not have a problem. This is all with alpha skills, so you shouldn't have a problem yourself. Next up, we're gonna go into one small capacitor control unit, two small capacitor control units. Why? To help us with that cap stability. We really enjoy the fact that this fit is cap stable, and we are definitely going to take advantage of that. But in the next rig slot, we're gonna have a small projectile burst aerator. Why? To be able to do a little bit more damage. You know, these guns don't do as much damage as blasters. They have a lot better range, but they don't do as much damage, so we want to help on the damage side a little bit more. As you can see, we're cap stable, so we don't need to spend any time simulating the fit. But yeah, this shape we're gonna use primarily for two things. We are going to use it for running high-sec combat exploration sites, and for running those Lowsec belts, those Lowsec belt rats. Of course, we're gonna find some clone soldiers that we will not be able to take out, but for the rest, for most of the ships and maybe battle cruisers, we shouldn't be able to take out just because we don't have enough damage to do that. But you can definitely start killing off smaller rats. You can definitely start killing those cruisers. And as you will see, we actually get some good loot from the recordings. So yeah, as with the Galente side of the channel, we're gonna put all the loot in one container, and at the end of the series we are going to take it off to a market to sell. I'm gonna think about whether we sell them on Heck or Rins, or maybe even we could take the stuff to Jira. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and let's go out and see those recordings. As you will see, 0.3 system. We are starting to get around these belts, just so you can see that even starting out with a small frigate, you can still make some decent ISK while belt ratting, while Lowsec belt ratting. So yeah, we're gonna use this fit 1.9 million, under 2 million, just to show you guys that it can actually be done rather easily. Of course, as usual, I'm gonna try to speed this up as much as possible, and I will get back to you guys when something interesting happens. Now, this little bit here is gonna be really important, because this is a spawn that we cannot kill with this frigate. It's a clone soldier recruiter. So we're gonna avoid him, we're gonna move on to the next belt. They are special spawns that are a lot more harder to kill from the usual ones. And a battleship. We would also not want to spend a lot of time with the battleship, but we can take out the frigates. So yeah, the thing with the slasher is it doesn't have as much DPS as the Incursus, and that of course is not the best, but we can still take down the smaller rats up to battle cruisers. I would say take down, except if they are clone soldiers, as the other one we saw on the last belt, because clone soldiers, I am not confident in this fit to have enough DPS to actually take down a clone soldier. So yeah, I really wouldn't recommend you even try. But yeah, I'm gonna again speed up the video, and I will get back to you guys when something important happens. So, for these two battle cruisers, we are going to just orbit, and start heading towards them. They are gonna start applying damage, but that's okay. And once we actually start our orbit, I'm gonna want to turn off the Afterburner. Why? So that our guns have a little bit of an easier time tracking this guy and getting better penetrating and hits. So yeah, if we leave the Afterburner on, it's gonna move a lot faster, and the guns are gonna have more of a problem tracking the battle cruisers. So yeah, that's the only reason why. As you remember, the hybrid blasters from the Galentes have a lot better tracking than these small prototype automatic cannons. But yeah, we need to be careful of our tracking, very careful of our tracking, and very careful with the bigger ships. So yeah, now that that commentary is out of the way, I will continue making this a little bit faster and wait for the next necessary comment. So, finally, after a long time, I didn't think it was going to take this long, but we finally have a 4 million ISK module, that the kind that we have been getting in Gallant space. Now, the problem with doing this in frigates is that, of course, we don't have a lot of space in our cargo hold. So what I'm going to do is see which of these things is actually worth keeping. For example, the Caribbean howitzer, it's not worth keeping. The improved recharge rate of the shield, that one may be. The small clarity ward shield booster is one like this one, so we can make another one for free, so we're keeping that one. This one, we don't need, so I will extract it because also. But yeah, we're gonna take out this one, advanced Limos. Let's see the variations. Limos is the third one, so we don't need that one. And this one is the Gallium Cannon, is also the third one. So, let's see, this one. Show me, there it is. The murky. Okay, this one we can keep. But yeah, I'm basically gonna take out everything that I don't think we are actually going to use for either fits or for something else. For example, these depleted uranium rounds, I don't really see a point in taking them. Sometimes I just click loot all and well, they come along with everything else. But yeah, now that we have jettisoned that, we can finally fit or get into our ship our 4 million ISK module, and that means that this ship is paid for. As you remember, this ship is cost nitros a lot more, but it itself is 1.7 million, under 2 million ISK. Of course, it doesn't do this very, very fast, and it doesn't have a lot of DPS, so it makes sense that it's a super expensive fate. Let's say this one is getting down. Again, nothing worth the time, really. We have a Condor in local. We want to be really careful with those because they could counter us very easily. And it's out of our discount, but it's not out of the system. So we want to be careful with this because that means that we are potentially, currently, being haunted. So I'm just getting away from the belt, and it's gone. Okay. But yeah, remember, you must be really careful when you're in Lowsec. That is the game in Lowsec. You come to Lowsec, of course, for the better loot, but that better loot comes with certain risks. And in this case, the certain risk is being hunted by other players. That's not bad, that's actually good. If you ever get hunted down and taken down, remember, it was your fault. You need to be careful around Lowsec. I have been taken down many times. It is the way of the game. That's the way the game is supposed to play. So don't worry about it. It's okay, it's normal. This is Lowsec, I don't know that well, so I'm being extra careful. But yeah, you should also be extra careful if you're just entering Lowsec for the first time or anytime. You should be extra careful in Lowsec and get ready to be hunted down. But yeah, I'm gonna speed things up a little bit again, just so that we can finish up this run of asteroid belts and we can go ahead get the loot out of Lowsec. That's a very, very important part because in this character I don't yet have a Sunesis. So we're gonna have to use this very same slasher to get things in and out of Lowsec. I know, daunting. But yeah, that's why I decided to go for this one for starters. So yeah, I'm gonna speed it up a little bit and I'll get back to you as soon as we get something nice.
Drive active. Drive active. Drive active.
So we were just finishing up our belts and we got an Astero on this scan, and as you can see there are some sister score scanner probes. Now the thing with the Astero is it's a combat exploration frigate, but it can cloak. So if you see it in your D-scan and you no longer see it, then most likely it has cloaked. So I warped out into my safe. We are done running our belts. We of course have paid for the ship and for the next one with just the loot that we have on this one. So let's get back to base so that you guys can see how are we going to take out this loot in the normal frigate, in the not specialized frigate. Oh, and so that you can see the ship that is in system right now, it's a Sisters of Eve ship, is this one. So bonus to drones, all armor resistances, cloaking devices. So yeah, we are not going to be able to take down an Astero with our feet, definitely not, especially if it's cloaked and it can just catch us anywhere. So let's get out of the system, let's head back home, and once we are back in high sec, which is gonna be 2 jumps from here, that's not bad. I'm gonna cut the video and see you back at the station. Alright, let's just see the main things about moving through Lowsec is of course never use autopilot. That's like a death wish. Even in high sec, that's like a death wish. You're gonna get popped no matter what you do, no matter who you are. If you're using autopilot, you're likely going to die. But yeah, we're gonna continuously use our discount because as you can see, we have different people in the locals of the systems that we are moving through. But we want to keep our local up to be able to see if there, for example, there is a jackdaw probably running sites, or no, he's not at the gate, he's definitely running sites. So depending on the distances that you're moving, you will be using your D-scan. Remember, here the 14.3 AU will tell you at what distance the D-scan is working, and you will always know at what distance you're from the gate because you will be looking at it and it will be telling you where you are and where you're going. For example, there is a shuttle right here. We are still in Lowsec 0.4. But shuttles don't have any modules, so we don't need to worry about a shuttle. We shouldn't have any problems with a shuttle. He probably was moving just stuff around, which is something you do a lot in Eve. But yeah, we continue to this scan. As you can see, we have a backup on this scan. He could be gate camping, but we don't know. And no, there's no gate camp, so let's just get out of here. The good thing about this is that if you arrive at a gate camp, you can still take the gate. The thing is, on the other side, there are probably going to be people waiting for you. Fortunately for us, the other side of this gate was high sec. So yeah, I will see you guys as soon as we get to the station. Sites, and we got the Angel Cryocorp mining complex facilities, something like that. As you can see here in the information database, this is a 2 out of 10, which means that only frigates and destroyers can actually come into the site. So let's go and see how the little slasher will do. Let's hope we get some good loot out of it. And the good thing about these sites is that they are absolutely doable with a frigate. So yeah, we're gonna want to hurry it up a little bit. I'm gonna try to thin out the herd a little bit. We're a little far away from this one. And yeah, we're just gonna approach the dead space synchronization thingy. I'm gonna unlock these frigates, unlock these closer ones. And as you can see, we are absolutely taking the damage without a problem. You know, our reps are good. As you can remember, we are very much cap stable. So yeah, I'm gonna loot this thing, this cargo container. We're taking a little bit more damage. Just gonna take out a few of the rats and the... Oh, we are at spooky season, so we are gonna be having the Halloween event. I'm gonna try to run it, whether we get any sites or something interesting to do. But yeah, let's continue on this one and let's get to the next loot cache. So yeah, Afterburner on, our shield reps still going. Exactly the same strategy. Now this one has a cruiser and some guns, so we might actually take a little bit more damage, but let's see how we tank this one. I mean, worst case scenario, we pull off a little bit of range and re-aggress. But as you can see, the rats are going down rather easily. Of course, I'm using fusion ammunition, the exact same ammunition that we have been using for Lowsec belt ratting. So we shouldn't really have any problem changing ammunition if we are staying in min-matter space. So yeah, I'm gonna go for the next gate. Unlock these frigates. And of course, if you want to, you can just destroy everything and loot every wreck and stuff like that. But since I want to run this one rather fast to see whether or not the slasher can actually tank it. Okay, so in this one, I'm actually going to want to start taking down things. Why? Well, we might actually get more damage from this room. I think this is the bigger room. And we just want to be a little bit careful with that. But yeah, as you can see, the frigates are going down no problem. Let's turn on that afterburner so that we can get a little bit faster. Okay, we don't see any probes on this scan because, as you can remember, we had to scan down this side with the probe launcher and with the probes. So yeah, anyone else can scan it down. I am not sure, I am not as familiar as I am with the Galente site, so I'm not sure that they can still get into our site. But just in case, be careful running it. Always assume that someone else is gonna try to run it or someone has a gate to be able to get into it. But yeah, it's basically very simple, very easy, and just destroy a few things to make sure that we don't get a lot of damage, and yeah, should be fairly simple. Again, I'm just taking down these frigates because I want to not have any problems taking the loot cache. So yeah. But as you can see, we are tanking okay. As long as we continue taking down this damage from the field, we are not going to have a problem. As you can see, that frigate was one-shotted practically, so we're not having any trouble with damage output like I thought we were going to have, because I'm used to blasters and they do a lot of damage. But yeah, these frigates are going down very easy, and that's really nice to see. Okay, we're taking a little bit more damage than I would like to, so it's time we get going. Move around a little bit. You know, nothing dangerous, but our shields are almost at half, so we want to be careful with that. Of course, if we lose the ship, it's not a big loss, but what you actually want to be able to do is just run something that can run all the sites without a problem. That's the good thing about your combat exploration ship. Of course, we're gonna try another feat later in the series, a little bit more expensive, well, a lot more expensive, but that can run the sites without this much hassle. So yeah, as you can see, we're just taking down the frigates, starting to lock up the cruiser, looting around a little bit. I think I'm gonna orbit the cruiser. And it would be the same strategy than it is with Lowsec belt riding, just orbit at 500 and get those guns in there. Hitting shots, penetrating shots, they are really good. Let's take out the Nomad since he will apply a lot more damage than the Predator, because he can actually track us. He's out of range. Okay, let's focus on the cruiser. But yeah, as you can see, it's absolutely doable, these sites with the slasher feed. Let's see, ooh, we have a Sunesis. Let's go down to 1AU to it is right here. So, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We need to... Where is the... There it is, the loot cache. Okay, let's go for the loot. And yeah, let's hope we can actually beat the Sunesis to our loot. But yeah, as you can see, we are not having any trouble with running this. I think maybe the Sunesis is trying to kill all the rats in the other two rooms, so that's why it's actually a very nice thing not killing everything once you go into the first two rooms. Plus, I'm not sure if he's going to get the key that we got to get to the next gate. Oh, and they do consume. So yeah, maybe the Sunesis won't be able to come in here with us. But just in case he does, we have killed off the loot cache, and let's just get that cargo container inside. And the Sunesis is away. 11 million. So finally we got some good loot from a dead drop. Finally, in the series, in the Galente series, we practically got nothing. But you know, it's the R&D of the situation. It happens. You will get some sites that don't have anything. You will get some sites that have a lot. This one, 11 million, it's fairly good. It's nice. And I wanted to see if you could actually, how much you could make compared to Galente space in Minmeter space. So I think we are doing okay. Just gonna take out the last frigates, and now that we are actually done with the site, we can actually kill everything, loot everything. Because if you're just starting out, which is the main point of this feat, it's actually a great idea to loot everything and try to get as much stuff on your cargo hold as possible, because some of this stuff you will actually use for your feats, you know, for example, the EPS Gaussian scoped mining laser, ammunition. If you get any fusion ammunition, of course take it, because these projectile turrets use a lot of ammunition. So yeah, let's go to loot. To loot everything, since we're cap stable, we don't have to take out the guns, we can just leave everything running and we will not have a problem. But yeah, let's just loot everything and I will see you guys back at the station. See, we are very much able to make the ISK for this cheap slasher. We have been doing actually pretty great with it, and I think it's a really good start. So yeah, I will be working on other feats. If you have any feat you would like me to do, or any activity in particular you would like me to try, please let me know in the comments below. If you find it in your heart, please leave me a like, leave me a comment, and consider a follow. But yeah, I'm just starting out this content, and I hope my editing has been getting a little bit better. Starting off this series, I'm gonna try to work on that a little bit more. And yeah, thank you also very much for watching. This has been the Alpha Life, and I will see you in the next one.